Hello once again, and I want to welcome you all to this new episode on how to design and set up a website that wins your customers. I actually came up with this based on some questions and some social listening that I've been doing recently, and a lot of people have been asking me like, how do I get conversion from my website? Most of my clients, they usually ask the question, how do I win more customers? How do I leverage on conversion? How do I leverage on sales? And I felt it necessary to actually show them some of the things and some of the thinking process, some what my process looks like in regards to how I design my website, how I set up my website that enables me to win customers. And this episode, I'm going to break it down, and we're going to be looking at so many things, and I trust that you're going to learn because we are going from the very ground up. So we're going to be looking at how to design and set up a website that wins your customers, and it's going to be from start to finish. I'm going to be revealing every technical process that you ought to know, and I trust that this will be very impactful. So sit tight as we make progress. Alright, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Abraham Steve, and I'm the lead designer at Eureka Labs. I'm the co-founder of Pearl Designs. I'm a trainer with Growth Tribe Africa for the Google Digital Skills, and I'm also a brand consultant for the Office of First Lady of Ekiti State. I don't really like to talk about my portfolio or my profile, but for some reasons I just find it necessary share with you some of my achievements, and I just like to keep it that simple. So that's all for now, so let's push forward. Okay, so what is a website? Let's have the question and let's have the interaction very clear. So in very simple sense, a website is simply a collection of web pages. Is that clear? A collection of web pages. Now forget about the collection of web, but just focus on the pages. And I want you to think about something. Pages of what? Magazine, pages of paper or something, but it has to do with something that has to do with your company profile or your portfolio. And this picture or this image here would simply illustrate what I'm trying to sell. So the idea is that picture your company profile. Okay, the first thing that you have when someone opens it is maybe a table of content that leads people to independent sections of the profile. Are you following me? So your website, to be very practical, it's simply that your company profile, but now it's online. That's what people don't know. So like, you have a hard copy company profile, and usually you like to take it around, and there are disadvantages to that. It could get wet, it could get damaged or something, and sometimes you might not be able to meet those customers where they are at. Like, you can't meet them at the time when need you most. So going the same process is what we take over to the cloud, but this time around you're now putting your information, and where you have that table content which leads people to independent sections of your brochure or your portfolio, those table of contents are now the menus that leads people to independent content on your site and independent information on your site. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say to you right now. So the idea is just that it is still a page, but now it's on a cloud. And there are certain protocols that enables that to be possible. I don't want to get too technical, but just see that it's a collection of your information, but now it's on a cloud. Okay, so how you communicate that information, certain things that you put into it, is what makes your website to win your customers, to have the engagement, because it needs to communicate in the simplest way possible. Now, if this brochure is very complicated, it's not as simple, it's not catchy, doesn't have the catchy headlines or things that you need, probably it's not going to really work the way you want it to. So it's the same procedure. And some people say is that one thing that technology does for us is that technology has made things very fast. So if you do the wrong things, technology actually makes you feel faster. Okay, so that's what I want to say. So you need to get the foundation right, and that is why I am having this video and having this episode, and I trust that you will learn a lot. So follow me. All right, so the two kinds of web pages that I really want to just emphasize on. So, number one, we have the static landing page, and I just want you to see maybe like an A4 sheet or maybe like a trifold brochure. Okay, it has just a, a one-sided sheet to it. So most times when you go online and people say it's possible for you can't really do much, but just having one or static page does a lot in terms of giving you that online visibility. So nowadays we have both static, and you could choose, and we have both dynamic interactive pages where you have rapid response, you have prompt update of content, people, and the interaction is a very high frequency because it's a two-way communication. But the static landing page is just a one-way communication. In a sense, you can't really achieve much except you're going to be bringing in the third-party plugins, but I would show you all through that. But I just want you to understand one aspect that has to do with maybe like your A4 paper that just has maybe a little about us and this and this and this and that, and compare it to something that's interactive, something that is dynamic, something that changes, something that's fluid, something that has that level of responsiveness that you want to your look and feel. So where your normal brochure or your profile will be just static, the website, the dynamic website, helps it to be interactive, so someone can call in, someone can chat. Understand what I'm saying? So you have to really understand the differences, and which is what we'll be showing or we'll be throwing back. But I just want to lay a foundation in this first episode so you understand some of the things that we'll be looking at. I could do the start page for you. I could also do the dynamic interactive pages, but the most things I want to help you do is I would like you to get a very active static landing page. And for the most part, maybe a subsequent episode, we'll be looking at how you can create dynamic and interactive pages, and I really want it to work out for you. So if you have any questions, just make sure you ask and leave comments. I will just be there to like break it down to the simplest way possible. Alright, so before we start out, I also want to add to you some of the benefits of having a website. And as you can see on this infographics, it's cost effective in terms of advertising. And when we talk about cost effective in terms of advertising, you see, so many people go online now to search. You're aware of that. They go on Google, they go on Bing, they go on, I don't know, but they go online to search for businesses, for services, and who knows, as they're searching, you get visible, and you just pop up, or your services pop up, or your website pops up, and with that you've not really spent so much in advertising, so it's cost effective. And I believe that if we even to run Google ads on it, I think it's very affordable, especially when you have a technical strategist like me who can help you use very little budget in terms of Google ads and Facebook advertising to really get that deep traffic. So you don't need to advertise on TV commercials or stuff like that, but nowadays it's so much in sync. So the second one is that it helps you to analyze your customer behavior. So you have a customer insight, and it reveals to you where the customers are coming from and what they're actually clicking on, what's actually keeping their interest on your site. And it's 24 hours available, which like I said, if you pay for hosting, and this is very, very possible because it's still on the server, but now it's on a 24-hour server depending on how you store your information. Then it helps you to generate real-time feedback. Like I was talking with the dynamic pages, it's something that it's so much of a benefit to us today. It helps you to cater for other niche markets. That one of the things that I do very well is to also metamorphose into other areas that people are not looking at, because I'm doing a lot. Like for example, what I said is this video is a result of social listening. So I'm listening to my customers, I'm anticipating their needs, and I know that they have a problem with having to get sales. So what are the things that we need to do to be able to get sales? And these things are just little things, free things that you could do. And I mean, you can just have it at the tip of your finger. So I'm actually going to be sharing you some of my tips and tricks to how I create and set up my website that helps me win conversion. So I'm going to be breaking everything down to the very bones of it, and I trust that you're going to learn. So let's move forward. Builds a business profile. So you're looking at having that kind of reputation status. I mean, like someone sees you online and you're actually talking about and addressing issues that are critical, or sometimes someone sees your customer base over the year and you're having like how many thousand visits or hits and likes. I mean, it is something that in terms of collaboration, someone sees that kind of statistics and that you have so amount of traffic on your site. I mean, it helps to build your business profile as well. Then it adds a value and satisfaction, because you're listening, you're communicating with your customers, so you can actually solve your problems at their convenience. And it's a two-way communication marketing. Like I said, the communication is very active, the communication is very friendly, and it's what would help you reach your set goals, especially for your business, because you're going to be capturing a wider audience. So like you can see number 9, it says target a wider market, so whereby you have physical people meeting you, but this time when you go on a website, you have a larger audience to attend to. So these are some of the benefits of having a website, and I trust that if this didn't really kick in your interest, I mean, like, this part or this section should actually enable you to push forward to having something that would work. So let's move forward. Okay, quickly I want to say types of website, and the reason why I structured this section is just to explain some things to you. So the first one, we have the coded site, the second one we have the semi-coded site, and the third one we have the uncoded site. Now I'm going to reveal the back end to you, so just listen. The coded site are the ones that you have the technical expert, the developers bringing some line of codes, and they build the site from scratch. They are very sophisticated. They build it custom made for your products or service. Most people can afford it at scale, others can't. So I'm going to show you the next one that we normally do for small businesses who really want to have something dynamic and interactive, but don't really have the amount of money to bring the expert. We now take them to the semi-coded, where we use platforms that have already structured layout and structured system and template, such as WordPress, such as Joomla, such as the recent one we have is Webflow. And you see that it has some sections that you can put in some line of code, and it has some sections that are built from templates. So on any site that you are, it's not really fully coded, but it's a very functional, very interactive. Then the uncoded side is the site that you can see, you take the front end, more like a front end site, and it's very simple. I could show you or like 2 to 3 sites that I've used on uncoded, and I'm seriously making conversion by just going through the simple principles and process. You see, the truth is, you don't need to do something so big to have your online presence or to get the kind of attention that you're looking for. Some of these things are very cheap, already available, but some people don't really know how to access it. Some of them are free, and those are the things I'm going to be revealing to you. So if you don't really understand, you could pause, you could go back, you could rewind, and I mean, like, just make sure that you actually have this foundation right, so that you can actually know what's really going on, because when we're making progress, we might not be coming back here. So we have the coded, we have the semi-coded, and we have the uncoded sites. All right. So I find it necessary to bring this aspect, which is called definition of terms. And I'm going to be talking about some terms and terminologies that are normally used in the industry and which you'll be encountering in the course of setting up your site. So you need to be aware. So if you're a newbie to this stuff, you need to be aware of these terms. The first one is called URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Uniform Resource Locator. Now, the Uniform Resource Locator, it's a link that helps you to locate a resource on the web. That means, for example, have you ever had a Dropbox link or someone sent you a link that leads you to a direct file that you can download? That's a uniform resource locator. Maybe you had, maybe your site was abc.com/books. Now, abc.com/books or abc.com on the home page might not have /books, but someone now gave you that link that helps direct you to the exact resource or PDF or information or audio product that you want. So that's what we call the URL. Even on YouTube these days, you can see they say copy URL. That means you're not going to the home page because if you go to the homepage, you'll be searching for thousands of videos and you really can access it. But if someone gives you a direct link to a particular resource, this you can be able to access that video in split of a second. I don't know if I explain it in a way that you understand. So that's what we call a uniform resource locator. The exact information on the web, you access it straight hand using the link, using the address. Okay. The next one is called domain name. What is domain name? Domain name is the unique address of your site. Now, when we talk about unique address of your site, it's like having a phone number, telephone number. So, like, if you don't set in the right phone number, you can't really contact me. You'll be contacting someone else. So, the unique address of your site, where someone is going to be able to contact you as a general or puts into the search box, is what we call the domain name. That's your domain name. The unique address is like a phone number. So, example of unique addresses would be abc.com, would be google.com, would be facebook.com. Okay, those are unique addresses, and for me it would be like poordesigns.com or eureka.com.ng. So you learn all those things. Those are the addresses, and you can't really share it. It has to be unique because it's like phone number, so when you key in, it takes you to that particular site. The next one we want to talk about is called server. Server is where information is stored. It's a computer. For example, I talked to you about your okay, I talked to you about your brochure and the company profile. You see, you can store the soft copy on your system, but normally you shut down your system, right? Or you might have to take your system around to be able to show all those to your customer, but that's not what you're trying to achieve. So you're going to get this information and store it to a computer or in a cloud. That's what we call it, cloud of computers, where anybody that wants to access this information can go to that cloud because it's 24 hours on, so you can go in there and access the information as a whole. And then we have something that's called IP address. A lot of us misunderstand what IP address is, so I had to like break it down here or introduce it here so you can understand. IP address has to do with the original domain name written in numbers. In other words, like it's still your domain name, but it's written in numbers. The reason is that computers understands, interprets whatever you're doing in zeros and ones. Computer understands zeros and ones or binaries and stuff like that. So if we to put IP addresses on the search box, I don't think that anybody will be able to quote those kind of numbers, word numbers. Of course, you have so many telephone numbers that you've not been able to reach out to, and I trust that you would really like that to be convenient, and it might not really sink into your brain. So I think the developers had to look forward into it, and that's why they had the domain name. But IP address is still, like when you get into your server, you really see how they are giving you the IP address. Or when you search on or you go to developers tools, you can actually see some IP address that identifies your region, your location, or when you're doing customer insight analysis, you see IP address to identify where some of the customers are coming from. So that's what IP address is. Now we have SSL, that's secure socket layer, and secure socket layer has to do with putting some kind of security on your site, and if you're doing or something that is very critical and very sensitive, you need to secure your site. So SSL certificate helps you to achieve that, and HTTP has to do with hypertext transfer protocol. Now the reason is that it's a protocol that has to render your information, just like you said, because computer or the web understands information differently. On the web, you will not have a DOC like the Microsoft Doc or the Keynote, but you have it in a web form. So it has to convert that information from 0 and 1s to render it in a browser in a way that your customer would understand. So that's what we call the transfer protocol. So as a person is typing HTTP saying convert this information from 0s to 1 to something that I can read. I hope that's very simple. So www has to do with World Wide Web, and it's large, it's massive, it's where you're getting into. I just want to say that there are thousands of websites online right now, and some of them aren't really doing what. So you can actually be aware of the competition. And one more thing, I'd like you to just know that, I mean, like I usually say this, if you're looking out where you can learn new skill, I would say you pick up actually becoming a server maintenance engineer. I mean, like where you have the server there dedicated cloud computers. We have people learning how to maintain and update all this information. And probably, I know that most people don't really think in that line, but everything is really going on to the cloud, and we really need a lot of people to be working there as a cloud service maintenance officers or maintenance expert. So this is where we're going to end right now, and we're going to be moving to episode 2. So if you had questions, I want you to just leave me comments and hit the notification and like button, because when we bring in the episode 2, you want to be aware that we are live. So thank you so much for your time, and good luck. Let's move over to episode 2. Just make sure that you subscribe. Thank you very much, and good luck.